Tories having a long track history, a political culture, and a tradition far older than Reform UK. And that's why Badenoch problem shouldn't be asking, whether moving a little further to the right or further to the center. But I think that the message between the lines coming from Giorgia is think about your vision for Britain in the next 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. The Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch sat down for a chat over coffee in Rome with the Italian leader Giorgia Meloni earlier in the week. They have known each other a while. They are said to get on very well indeed. But now one of Badenoch's predecessors as Tory leader, William Hague, has been telling Times Radio Breakfast that he believes Meloni is whether or not she's the best role model for a Tory leader.
She's the most consistently popular leader around Europe, and not just with the far right, which she was associated with, because she's pursued sensible economic policies, and while she's Eurosceptic, she's not ripped up all the arrangements with the European Union. And although she's been a supporter of Trump, of course, recently, she's had a huge row with Trump on social media. So she sticks up for herself. Well, this is a pretty good model for Kemi Badenoch.
Right, so what can Kemi Badenoch take away from a chat with Giorgia Meloni? Michela Morizz is Giorgia Meloni's pollster, also the founder of the polling company Techne. Hello to you, Michela.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. Well, yes, exactly. We all have read the Times coverage of the meeting between Giorgia and Kemi, and it's been very interesting. And what I think with regards Giorgia and her message between the lines to Kemi was that the point, one of the most important aspects regarding Meloni is that she represents a modern right, not a nostalgic one, a conservative right in its values, but reformist in its governing action. And I believe that also the Tories today can understand this concept well, because it traces back to the great tradition of British conservatism. I don't think Meloni is telling Kemi move to the center or simply don't make deals with Farage. I think that the political message is much more interesting coming from Giorgia. Don't let your competitor decide who you are, because the British Conservative Party doesn't need Nigel Farage to explain what it means to be conservative. The Tories having a long track history, a political culture, and a tradition far older than Reform UK. And that's why Badenoch problem shouldn't be asking, whether moving a little further to the right or further to the center. But I think that the message between the lines coming from Giorgia is think about your vision for Britain in the next 10 or 20 years.
Yeah.
This has been the success for Giorgia in the Italian government, and I think this is one of the key messages she passed on to Kemi.
Okay, well, Kemi Badenoch tells us that one of the messages she received from Giorgia Meloni was "Be your own woman, stand your ground." Tell me, Michela, what does that mean in campaigning terms? What does it mean in policy terms?
Well, let's see what Giorgia Meloni's strategy has been during the last 3 years of government. First of all, one thing above all, don't let Farage set the agenda. Define the conservative identity. It's up to Kemi. Listen to the voters like Giorgia has done, and listen to the people more in general like Giorgia has done. Thinking about economy, because in Italy the resulting picture of 3 years in government is favorable in terms of job, stable employment stability, recovery of real income, investment, a better situation in public finances. This doesn't mean we don't have problems anymore, no, but this means the country has improved and has increased its going on the right way to recovery after difficult years, after the COVID pandemic, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, please.
Yes, of course. Economic stability and control of public finances and so on. Every party would say those are good things, though, wouldn't they, Michela?
Yes, you're right, absolutely right, because common sense has no flag. So probably every party should. But Kemi Badenoch, they have a close relationship. They're friends more than leaders, and of their respective party. And I'm sure that Giorgia takes care of the UK future through the Conservatives, because well, it's important. They speak the same language. They are aligned in what can be the alignment for the future. Yes. And the message is think to the economy, because the vote is an economy vote. It's an economic vote.
Well, they always say, don't they, that the economy is the issue that really turns elections. But in this country, in the UK, as in Italy, migration control is a very sensitive topic.
Oh, yes.
So from your experience, and I realise, of course, that Italy is Italy and the UK is the UK. They're not the same country. But from Giorgia Meloni's experience, is it possible to give any kind of advice on how to win the argument about migration control when you have from the right the Reform UK party challenging on ever stronger proposals, just as you do, of course, in Italy?
You have Reform UK in Italy. We have Vannacci with Futuro Nazionale, the new party at the right of the right, if I can say so. Well, migration is really a tricky issue in Italy. It's a big issue, and it's a big issue also for this government. So a real solution is very difficult, because of course we are in Europe, we are bound to European rules. So there is a lot to change, but what we are facing at the moment with Vannacci, Vannacci is not Farage, at least not completely. There are similarities in their electoral function and arena, because they capture dissatisfaction and demand for greater clarity on certain issues, which is migration is the first that Vannacci is dealing with. And he collects dissatisfaction on this specific topic. But of course, we have also to think that migration safety is one of the key topics.
But got to find a way to connect to people on this ever sensitive issue. Under pressure in Italy, as Kemi Badenoch is here in the UK from the right wing, in her case, Reform UK. I have to leave it there, though. Time is out. Let's again talk, I hope, before too long. Michela Morizz, Giorgia Meloni's Pollster there. More coming up on Times Radio.